My name is Josh Mountain, and today begins my journey to build a profitable software side hustle in 100 days.
Winterland, tell me all your secrets. Fill me in on
Kind of sounds like a bit of a tall order, right? Not the easiest thing to do, and I'm right there with you. So let me lay out the goals for this challenge. Because at the core concept, software is like any other business. You need to be able to solve a customer's problem and get them to pay you to do it. That's what my goal is with this business project. I want to try building a software side hustle that requires a very short MVP build, a very quick, small target audience that I can get, and figuring out what value I can provide to them through software that would get them paying me and therefore generating a profitable side hustle startup.
when I get closer.
So here's what I was thinking. Content creation is going through the roof, this channel included. And with so many platforms and services able to post your content, your value, your entertainment, your how-tos, whatever, etc., on, there has never been a better time to become a content creator. But there are a lot of content creator tools out there that don't actually service the needs of what content creators actually need. Despite the fact that there are already tons of software tools out there that are incredibly helpful at helping content creators post their content, schedule it, etc., there are still many software tools missing that are essential for content creators, and they simply don't exist, or really exist, but in a very limited form. And that's what I want to do. I want to fill the hole in the market for content creators. But what problem should I start with? Like I said, the content creator industry is a big industry. There are tons of tools out there for managing your posts, posting posts, helping you generate content. But there is one thing that is missing in all of this, and that is sponsorships. So that got me thinking, what if I built a platform that connected brands and content creators and allowed content creators to effectively manage their sponsorships, partnerships, promotional posts, and more? All the things that a content creator would need when they're dealing with sponsorships, dealing with clients, fulfilling deliverables, managing their timeline, actually ensuring that they fulfill their promises, doing contracts, getting paid for those contracts, etc., etc. But where do I start on this? Fortunately for me, I have a network to pitch my ideas to. So I'm going to start with my friend Conan Katarski. Conan runs a fitness YouTube channel that does very, very funny fitness shorts and very informative long-form content. If you guys haven't seen him, I recommend you check him out. If I could build anything right now that would make your life the easiest possible for managing your sponsorships and all that, what features would come to mind?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the biggest thing, like the organization and like having one place, because right now it's like I'm on like a group chat on iMessage. I have emails sent to me. It's mainly emails, and I'm in a Discord group as well, which I still to this day have no idea how to use Discord. But it's like you said, it's like all over the place. It's like all these different apps and like, I mean, it's mainly still email, but yeah, like Discord, iMessage and stuff, even on Instagram group chat as well. So like you can tell it's like pretty like all over the place. So having like more of a place where it's like all in one, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. It's so decentralized. It's, there's emails, DMs, tweets, none of it is in one centralized location. So this platform would serve as a place that it's the communication tool where, okay, if you need to know any information regarding your sponsorships or communicate with your brands, that this is the platform to do it.
Oh, I mean, that would definitely help. Like if I had reminders on my phone, like notifications, I was sending me reminders like, hey, you got 2 days left, whatever. That would definitely help because yeah, like you said, I'll sometimes have to like look back on the messages or look back on like the email. Because like for my protein, for example, they'll like what they'll do is like for the month, like for example, month of January, they sent us an email on January 1st of like the entire month. And like with like the dates we should post at, deadlines, whatever. But on the day of as well, they'll send like a reminder. But it's all through email, right? So maybe because we're all like on our phones, right? So maybe having that, but then also like on our phone would definitely help. So I mean, pretty much what you just said, the calendar with the reminders together, that'd be like ideal.
No.
You got the green, you got there's a saying for that.
The green light. The green light.
You got the green light from me, man.
Boom. Yo, I appreciate it again, Conan. Okay, talk to you later, man. See ya.
See you, man.
All right, so we've got the initial validation. That means we're looking towards building an MVP, but we got to come up with a name for it. But I mean, come on, guys. We are living in 2023. I mean, people do not come up with business names anymore, so we're throwing it over to ChatGPT. So after laying out the business idea to ChatGPT, I asked it to give me 10 business names. But there was one that stood out to me, one that kind of stuck. It was called Brand-Built. And that sounds interesting, Brand-Built. I mean, that sounds pretty cool, but it wasn't exactly what I was wanting. there was something missing. I like the brand part of it because it told you that about the connections and things like that, but it really didn't emphasize that this is something to connect with content creators. How is it bridging the gap between content creators and the brands? How is it bridging? Brand, bridge, brand bridge. That's the name. That's exactly what we need to do. This is bridging the gap between content creators and brands. That's what I want this to be. So now that we've got a name down, it's time to figure out what exactly we need to do to brand it. I'm talking about logos, what does the text look like, font sizes, colors, etc. So I'm gonna throw it over to a tool that I've used in the past called Brandmark. For like $65 US, I think it is, I'll get complete access to a bunch of logos, variations, style guides, etc., etc., etc. Everything I need from a design standpoint to get this ready to go. Because while I can build an MVP without exactly knowing the branding, it's much better to build around what I know the brand is and what I know the brand can become than just kind of going in blind. I think this is also a good time for me to sign up for Canva Premium because although I'm not going to be marketing this product right away, I think it's great to start getting the templates and using those assets to really build a brand image around what I'm doing and for potential use in future social media posts. So I just purchased the designer package for BrandBridge. I went through and picked out a little bit of the color scheme, fonts, things I like, and of course the logo, which I'm really wanting to go and hammer down the fact that this is bridging the gap between brands and content creators. So the logo I went with ended up being a variation of a bridge. We can see here I've got all the logo files I need, things like that. Wow, that looks really great. BrandBridge, bringing brands and content creators together. I've got my brand guidelines, things like the logo, spacing, the icon, the brand icon, the different variations of it, my color palette, which is going to be very, very nice for the MVP because instead of having to go and manually figure out what color palette I want to have, just based on the logo alone, I'm going to have a color palette already generated for me. And if I want to make it more vibrant, we can do that later down the line because I know these colors are quite similar to the Discord colors, so I do want to give it a little bit more of a vibrant blue just so it looks a little bit nicer, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Granted, I don't actually plan on putting this on a t-shirt, but hey, if we ever do in the future, now I know what it can look like. Icons, this is going to be a big thing because for the iconography, I really want to have the ability to use white on the blue and blue on the white, and etc., and have a lot of variations for it. I know a lot of brands are very tight about how their logo is used, and they should be, but for something like this, it just has to look nice and have that clean, friendly appeal to it. And I feel like if somebody looks at this, they might not know what it is right away. But how I'm perceiving it is that that's not confusion, that's curiosity. And curiosity might just be what gets us our first customers. This is also a reason I'm signing up for Canva Pro because, although these are very nice use cases for social media, I really want the social media concept for BrandBridge to be built around one specific idea, one specific valid concept. And these all kind of just go off of, apparel brands, things like that, and more generalized situations when you would use this. So that's why I think Canva is what I'm going to use over these social media posts. Now, the only thing left to do is build an MVP. Now, for my background in software engineering, I'm able to build this completely from scratch using code and writing it all myself. But if you don't have software engineering skills, this would be the point where you go to use something like Webflow or other no-code tools. Situations where you can build the most basic version of your product in the simplest time possible for as cheap as possible with the sole purpose of sending to your potential customers and getting their feedback, figuring out what features they want, figuring out what features they don't want. So let's break it down. Now this is going to be a MERN project. MERN standing for MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. Now, for something like this, I'm going to also be using Vite as a little middleman because although in the past I have used Create React App to make some projects, Vite offers a much faster loading time and makes it much easier for me to work on these projects and really deduce where the errors are coming from. After that, I'm going to figure out a cloud source, although I'm leaning towards Microsoft Azure DevOps just because I've used them in the past and haven't had any problems with them. And they also offer a free tier that for testing out the purposes of this MVP, getting that initial validation on those are the features that people love, those are the features that people would use, that's exactly what I want to deploy on. Something that's simple, fast, free, easy, and gets my product out into the world. Now for this, we're going to do 4 main pages. I mean, it's really just the most basic concept of what the product could be. A login page, a sign-up page, a dashboard, and a way for people to add their partnerships, sponsorships, and or manage them, review them. Most of it's going to all be done on one singular page, but I do want to offer flexibility for people on mobile and desktop because I want it to look good. Sure, my MVP isn't going to be the most amazing, most complex thing in the world. It's simply going to perform the basic actions of the product while allowing me the space to test and effectively see how my target market reacts. So I don't need to go all out on this. What I do want to do, however, is make sure that for these 4 pages, they look spectacular. Obviously, I want to be as quick as possible, but I also don't want my first impression with BrandBridge for customers to be, this doesn't look very good. Maybe it could be useful, but I don't like the way it looks. I want the clean, intuitive, inviting UI to get people in, and then they stay for the concept and they stay for the service that it provides. So it's time for me to go build all the APIs, creating sponsorships, deleting sponsorships, updating sponsorships, creating the login system, authentication, making sure it's all secure, and really building out the back end of this project. After that, I'm going to be using React to build the front end for those 4 pages, making them look exceptionally nice. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of work, but I'm confident that I can do it. So until we get to that point, make sure you hit the bell, because I don't really have a consistent upload schedule. So if you like this content and want to see all the future content that comes out, especially for this project, be sure to hit that bell. And if you want to see even more, hit that subscribe button, and please hit the like button. It helps the channel immensely. It promotes my content to more people who would like it. And if I can provide value about the startup process and what it's like and all the tools and the tech stacks, that would be something that would be great for me. And I'm sure there'd be a ton of people out there who would love to see it. So here's to new beginnings, and here's to BrandBridge.